Thank you, Chairman Schatz. Thank you to all of our nominees today for your long service to our nation and your dedication to foreign service. And thank you to your families for supporting you in this service and being such great partners with you. I have a broad number of questions and very little time, so I'm going to focus, if I might, on a few areas of principal concern and interest for me. Ambassador Godek, it's wonderful to see you again across a number of trips and engagements in Kenya and Ethiopia and elsewhere. I'm so impressed with your skills and your engagement, your capability. Thailand's a new region for you, a new engagement, and one where your deep experience, I think, will be critical and relevant. One of our core challenges, both in ASEAN and in Thailand and around the world in lots of different countries and contexts, is balancing our interest in free expression, democracy, robust human rights and civil society, and security. How do you think we will balance our critical security relationship with Thailand with continuing to press for improvements in civil society and opening space for human rights advocates?
Thank you, Senator Coons, and it's terrific to see you again as well. Senator, we do have obviously a number of interests with Thailand. We have a relationship that goes back almost 2 centuries, and across that time we've done a lot together, as I said in my opening statement. I do think we can do these things simultaneously. We can continue the security partnership, which is so critical, at the same time be plain, privately certainly, but publicly also when appropriate, about things like the importance of continued progress on democracy, protection of human rights, fundamental freedoms. We can do these things, and I would certainly be deeply committed to doing that in a wide range of ways. It starts by showing up. It was great to see the Secretary in Thailand just on Sunday. It was great to see the recent US-ASEAN Special Summit the President hosted. It's great to see the other visitors, Secretary of Defense, out there just recently. But then it goes to, again, looking at really all of the different areas of the partnership, continuing the dialogue, and continuing to really emphasize where we can move forward together and where we have differences, making plain what those differences are, and explaining why what we have to offer, I think, in terms of values, is a good way to go.
Well, and I think sending a seasoned senior ambassador like yourself to help balance that tricky and challenging balance is exactly the right choice. Mr. Abraham, Johannes, if I could, great to see you here. I'm excited about your nomination to ASEAN. The Indo-Pacific Economic Framework, how do you plan to engage ASEAN on this opening towards a trade integration that is not overturned to TPP, but is an opportunity? How would you make progress on the IPF?
Senator, thank you, and it's great to see you as well. I think first and foremost, as you do, the administration believes that deepening our economic ties with the region, Indo-Pacific writ large, and certainly within ASEAN is critical to not only our economic prosperity, but also our national security. If confirmed, I would look to work in close partnership with my colleagues in capitals around the region to build on what we found to be a very encouraging initial set of countries who signed up for to be a part of the launch of IPEF, 7 members of ASEAN being amongst them. And so as we're right now in a scoping stage of the exercise, as we continue to progress to build out IPEF, I would look to be a partner with my colleagues in capitals around the region and as well as in Washington, D.C.
If I might, Ms. Timur, I was pleased to see the initiative about new embassies in Kiribati and Tonga, the return of the Peace Corps to the region, the establishment of a new USAID office in the region. If I might, with the forbearance of the chairman, I'd just like to ask each of the 3 remaining nominees, if you might. I've particularly been interested in and supportive of the Development Finance Corporation and the Millennium Challenge Corporation. I'm the chair of the appropriating subcommittee that funds both of these. Could you just briefly explain how they will play a key role in the Pacific Islands, in our relationships in Mongolia, and in our relationships in Nepal, and how we might strengthen and deepen our partnerships in regions and countries where they have an alternative, and we're trying to show up, as it were, and provide a meaningful partnership.
Thank you for that, Senator, and thank you for your interest in the region. We do have, pardon me, we do have one country amongst the 5 to which I have been nominated that has started a conversation with the MCC, and as well as 2 countries that have signed an agreement with the Development Finance Corporation. And these are going to be critical because it will allow us to establish assistance to them that can help them with their sustainable economic development needs, which are vast, particularly in the area of infrastructure. So one of the things, if confirmed, that I would look forward to doing is exploring how we can leverage those capabilities in order to demonstrate why the United States should be the preferred partner in assisting with their economic development.
Thank you. Mr. Brangan in Mongolia.
Thank you, Senator, for that question. So there are a couple of areas where I see the DFC and MCC helping with Mongolia, particularly through their infrastructure development. As I stated in my open remarks, our largest investment right now is the $350 million Millennium Challenge Corporation's grant to help Ulaanbaatar increase its water capacity. I think there's also a lot of opportunity that both of those programs are doing with respect to trade and investment, particularly improving Mongolia's investment climate, as we're seeing with DFC. And I think given the realities that Mongolia has, particularly with rooting out corruption, with strengthening its rule of law, I think those programs are also doing a lot to help strengthening capacity building in those areas, where I think it would help, particularly as we're focusing on Mongolia's economic infrastructure and their economic development and their energy diversification, which I mentioned earlier. I think the whole of government approach here, DFC, MCC, including our public diplomacy and USA programs, will help strengthen those areas. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, your call. Do we have a moment for Nepal, or should we move on? Mr. Thompson.
Thank you, Senator. Thanks, Mr. Chairman. We've talked a bit about the MCC already. It's a game changer, I believe, for Nepal. $500 million will lead to thousands of jobs, tremendous infrastructure connectivity for Nepal and India and the rest of the region, tremendous transportation infrastructure upgrades for Nepal, which can have great benefit on the trade front. DFC, a bit smaller still, it's more of a nascent stage there, but a fantastic tool, we believe, to help provide the financing that's going to be necessary on so many areas such as renewable energy, healthcare sector, and the growing technology sector there as well. So we look forward to seeing how we can better use that. And if confirmed, I would certainly be interested in doing that.
Thank you all very much. Thank you for your forbearance, Mr. Chairman.